Hello there. Just look at the state of this room already. The mess Joggy's got it into. Still, aren't I lucky to have Joggy living with me? Mind you, today's a very, very special day. We are going to go to the bear dressers because Joggy is going to have his hair cut for the very, very first time. But he doesn't sit still. So we're going to have to practice sitting still. Do you sit still? Come with us. Joggy, come over here. Come and sit down. What we'll do is we'll do all the things you don't do when you should be sitting still. And then when we've used up all that energy, when you have your bear cut, you'll be able to sit still. So let's wriggle around first. And then rock side to side. And then a little shake out of the hands. And then chin in your hand. And he's always scratching at his ear. And then the other one all round, touching his head. And then we'll lean forward and take a look to our sides. And up you come, and a big shrug. Look again. I do. See, it just doesn't stay still. And then we're going to cross our legs. And when he's sitting there, he just kicks around and change. And then all over the place with both legs. Lots of kicks, lots of wriggling around. And then swing the arms. What do you do with your arms when you can't sit still? So much energy. So up you get with Joggy. Over you go, Joggy. Let's use up lots of energy. Try skipping. Skipping, get those legs up. Oh, that's not very good. Try marching, swinging the arms. Now jump. Up you go. Feet off the ground. And lots of marching again. Swing your arms, Joggy, as you bring your legs up. Here's a hard one. Try some star jumps. Feet apart. Clap those hands. Joggy! That's so much better. Up you go. And twist, jump side to side. Twist. That's got it. And try jumping with the arms. Here's the hardest one of all. Kick each leg over. You're going to have to practice that one. And we'll cool you down lightly, Jog. Well done. Come and sit down. Oh, a bear hug, a bear hug. Now, when we get to the bear dressers, the first thing they'll do is wash your hair, and then they'll trim it and cut it with scissors, and then Joggy, you'll have to decide what to do about this, okay? I know. In your storybook, there's a story about a bear having a bear cut for the first time. Pass me your book, Joggy, and I'll read it to you. And we'll call the bear in the story Joggy. So it'll be Joggy going to the bear salon. Right, are you comfortable? Right, here we go. It was 1 minute to 7 o'clock in the morning. Nothing stirred or moved in the big wooden bed. But you knew Joggy was there. You couldn't see him. But oh bear, you couldn't bear to hear him. The sound of Joggy's deep, grunting, snoring filled the entire bedroom. Joggy was giving it the big Z. Just then, another sound burst into life to put an end to all that snoring. It was the alarm clock. On the stroke of 7 o'clock, not 1 minute more, not 1 minute less, the shrill bell rang, until from underneath the cover came a fumbling paw, searching to find the alarm clock. Magic! The room went miraculously silent. Joggy threw back the cover and leapt into his early morning routine. A quick shake out of the paws, a little wiggle of the back, and a big, big stretch. And off he headed for the bathroom. As he washed his paws and patted his face with cold water, he looked at himself in the mirror. "And how are you this morning?" he asked out loud. "I'm very well, thank you, bearing up, and thank you for asking." He cleaned his teeth, but as he went to comb his hair, he did a double take. "Oh no, not again," he groaned. "That tuft of hair at the very top of my head is going to stick out all day." "Grrr," growled Joggy. "That tuft of hair is making me very cross this morning. Every time I try to flatten it with my paw, it springs back up again. It's got to go." Well, the time has come for Joggy to have his very first bear cut. Now, it's something he's been trying to avoid for a very long time. Well, if he couldn't sit still long enough, what was he going to do? I mean, what if they cut his hair all off and made him a bald head? A little shiver went down Joggy's spine when he felt the hair on the back of his neck standing up with such a fearful thought. "Well, it's no good worrying about it," said Joggy philosophically. "There's no turning back now. I've got to get rid of that tuft of hair." He put some money in his pocket, shut the front door, and jogged off down the high street. Past the butcher's, past the baker's, past the pet shop. But Joggy always looked the other way, 'cause he always wanted to take all the beautiful fluffy rabbits and the furry puppies home with him. Past the schoolhouse he jogged until finally he came to, guess where? The Bearlock's hair salon. Joggy took a deep breath. "Right, this is it. Here we go." Once inside, he told the hairdresser that he only wanted his tuft of hair cut and nothing else. Anton, that was the hairdresser's name, nodded his head. He put a big cloak around Joggy to keep him clean and smiled and said, "If I might suggest, monsieur, you could always keep this tuft of hair and set a new trend. I could even colour it bright green for you." Joggy hoped Anton wasn't really being serious and nervously laughed back. Maybe that's a French bear's sense of humour. He led Joggy over to the sink. "I will wash your hair first, because then it will be easier for me to cut it," said Anton. He sat Joggy down and told him to lean back. How very odd, thought Joggy to himself. I don't lean back when I wash my hair at home. I lean forward. This Bearlock salon is certainly a new experience. Maybe I won't get my hair quite so wet if I tilt my head back. His hair was shampooed into a mountain of soapy bubbles and then rinsed all away. Anton wrapped Joggy's head in a nice warm towel and sat him down in a new place in front of a mirror. Anton disappeared to look after another client's hair, leaving Joggy's hair to slowly dry. Well, Joggy took a good look at himself in the mirror. Well, perhaps it's not so funny after all. Maybe I could start a fashion. I could become famous for my tuft of hair. Joggy thought long and hard about it as all around him bears were having their hair trimmed, rolled, and yes, coloured. No, thought Joggy, I don't think the idea would catch on. Let's see if I can think of something else. Joggy took another long, thoughtful look at himself in the mirror. What if I really let my hair grow? I could let my fringe grow and grow. Then I could look like one of the Beatles, one of the very famous singers from the swinging 60s. Then all the bear ladies would scream at me and want to give me masses of bear hugs. And when Joggy looked again in the mirror, what do you think he saw staring back at him? Joggy Beetle Bear! There he was with his long dark hair and a fringe that went straight across his forehead, right down to his eyebrow. Joggy imagined himself strumming his guitar and singing in front of a microphone. It's been a hard day's night. Ooh, I don't think I could bear all those ladies screaming and pouring of me. If that's what hair does, then a beetle cut's not for me. Joggy took the towel off his head. Now his hair was no longer soaking wet. I've got a better idea. What about reviving the skinhead look? Joggy looked hard into the mirror. And what do you think he saw staring back at him? Joggy Punk Bear. There he slouched, long chains dangling from his black leather jacket. His jeans were torn right across both knees, and from his left ear hung an enormous silver earring. If his head was completely shaved, well, there would just be a mass of tiny little stubbles. And there down the centre would be a bright pink stripe. Oh, no, 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 said Joggy out loud. That's definitely not me, 'cause I look a real mean bear. I wouldn't want to be friends with me if I went around looking like that, Joggy sighed. I want to be a trend-setting bear, but everything's been done before. Long hair, short hair, spiky hair, well, even no hair. Joggy looked into the mirror, and then he had a bear wave. What about introducing the powdered curly wig men wore hundreds and hundreds of years ago? And what do you think he saw staring back at himself when he looked in the mirror? Joggy the bear fop, looking as if he'd just stepped out of the 17th century. Oh, I say, said Joggy, giving a little cough. I look quite distinguished. How very dignified and sensible I look. But wait a minute. I'm far too young to look sensible. And anyway, I'd hit my head on the door frame with a ridiculous wig. But it is different. Just then, Anton returned. Sorry to keep you waiting, monsieur. Now your hair is just damp. It's ready for me to cut. Remind me again, what do you require? Joggy quickly thought, but it didn't take long to decide, that really he'd like to look like a normal bear after all. Just trim the tuft of hair off the top of my head, he replied. But just in case the bear dresser should get any strange ideas looking into the mirror, Joggy kept his eyes firmly shut as he sat very, very still. There, Joggy.
You'll just have to decide when we're there.
But look at this mess. We've barely enough time to really tidy this up, Joggy. Now take the snake. He takes up so much room. And I'll do the smaller bits and pieces. I don't know where to begin. Hey, I didn't really mean you to take everything out, Joggy. Oh, good grief. We're going to be late for our appointment, Joggy. When we come back, promise me you will tidy up, all right? Come on, come on. Let's go and get your hair cut.